Welcome back, people. It is episode 10 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. Welcome back to Dog Days of Sports Part 3. Many more to come in this series. Before we do anything, be sure you follow, like, subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe share it to a friend, a pal, or a confidant. We have some strange and unusual topics to get into today about people pardoning dead people. We also have some college basketball talk, some MLB talk specifically about our beloved, and not only that, some NBA and NHL talk, followed by a combine review of the NFL and free agency predictions. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. We talk about sports and stupid stuff. We're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm sore because I'm a gym guy now, dude.
You're a gym guy now.
We're talking 5 days in a row, Mike. Look at me go.
Stop it.
Yeah, feeling good.
No.
Yeah, dude. Watch out. I'm gonna be yoked. You guys are gonna be so. I know I said this like 7 months ago, but I'm gonna be yoked. You guys are scared.
You should
also,
be. I'm scared.
One benefit of the dog days of sports is that I get more time in my viewing nighttime to watch television shows.
Yeah.
And my watch, as everybody's has been, is Severance. Have you watched this?
Severance?
Yes.
No. You know, I have been watching Kate Hudson's loose comedic biography on Jeannie Buss right now.
What?
It's pretty funny. It's on Netflix. I'm gonna plug this. It's about it's like a loose story on Jeannie Buss, and Kate Hudson is like the main character in it, and she plays like the owner of what they call the Wave, the LA Wave, which is a loose
Running
interpretation
Point.
of the Yeah, Running Point. It's been great. I really enjoy it. Great comedic writing. Some good actors in it. Premise is pretty funny. Short episodes, 30, 35 minutes. And, you know, Kate Hudson, she's playing like all my brothers are degenerates role. And I got to come in and save the family business, a.k.a. the Wave, right? It's the Wave, a.k.a. the Lakers. And it's like a loose interpretation of who Jeannie Buss is and what she's done. You know, like her character posed in Playboy as Jeannie Buss did. Her dad was quite the, guy out there seeing on the town,
Cherries,
different wives.
Good old Cherry.
Yeah. So
she has a big likeness. This was a good casting call. She looks a lot like Jeannie Buss when you look at them next to each other.
And I think Jeannie Buss is in fact a producer of the show, which makes a fair amount of sense. And Chet Hanks is in it. Didn't know he could act. I just remember he rapped. He rapped for a while.
Big bomber clot. Yeah.
Yeah, like right.
He dated a Jamaican lady and he's like, I met the Jamaican lady and now I talk like her. And you're like, whoa, dude, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that.
It's Bomba Clock. It's like, dude, your dad's Tom Hanks. Just
you say it's Bomba Clock?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bomba Clock. Hey, man, you got the time? You got the time? Yeah,
hello.
It's Bomba Clock.
Hello. It's fellow youths.
That's crazy.
Like Big Shaq. Bruh.
It's 10
remember
after
Big
Bomba
Shaq?
Clock, dude. Yeah, I remember Big Shaq.
So what was it? Didn't Drake have an album? Because
he did make an album before, yes.
Well, no, but he had some British rapper on it because he was trying to get into that British sound of rapping, which is, a required taste, I would say. And
I like
basically, it's okay. I could take it or leave it. You know who actually does it fairly well is Idris Elba. And Idris Elba is well versed. Yeah, pretty good. But he had
Giggs and Dave. He did a song with Dave. I remember that. And Sampha.
Giggs.
Yeah.
Giggs. Sampha was like supposed to be the guy. He was like the biggest guy.
He's great, dude. He's a singer though. He's full-time singer.
Right. And Sampha was like, I don't know, like the guy coming out of the UK
knows
for that.
Me like the piano in my mother's home. Yeah.
But like they had this sound, and Drake tried to get on the train. I forgot what album it was. I
Yeah.
don't think it was Scorpion. But with that, he brought him in, and then Big Shaq came out with a brrrr, then goes Scott, right?
Yeah.
And then before you know it, everybody thought it was comedic, and now the U.S.
The man's not hot.
I don't think man's not hot.
Yeah.
Man's never hot.
Yeah,
right?
but Central Season there doing band for band shit. He's on it now. But I went to England in 2017 after Big Shaq's song came out. Oh man, was it everywhere. I got so annoyed with it so quickly. It was everywhere.
It was hilarious.
Not to derail this, but I do want to say that if you haven't watched it, this is a no free ads, free ad for Severance. Watch it. It's amazing. I've been glued to my TV. Apple TV Plus, glued to my TV. It's worth the watch.
Isn't the McCulkin brother in it? Macaulay Culkin?
No, it's Adam Scott's in it. Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones is in it for a little bit of time. Not a lot of like big actors. Oh, Patricia Arquette. Is that her name?
Okay.
I think that's her name.
All right, Vince.
Totally wrong.
Since we're on the topic of film, give me, in order, your top 3 sports movies of all time.
Sports movies. It's not Fever Pitch.
It's a good one, but not up there.
I don't like it at all. One time I watched Fever Pitch.
He's not a Jimmy Fallon guy?
I watched Fever Pitch with a lady one time because it was like, I like rom-coms and you like baseball, so we can watch this together. I hated it. It was bad. I didn't like it one
bitter.
bit.
He's still bitter about that one.
No, it's just I don't like that movie. I talked to my brother about it today, actually. It was hilarious. The Sandlot still counts. The Sandlot's still up there.
Sandlot.
It's an all-time classic. Like, what are you going to do?
Absolutely.
Field of Dreams is so corny, but I've seen it so many times. Moneyball's good, dude. Moneyball catches flack like in the modern age now. But that's a good movie. That's a good movie. I like that movie. I don't know if I can rank them because, like, if I'm being honest,
no, don't rank them in no particular order. Like, just give me your 3. If you could pick 3 right now.
I'm a sports doc guy over sports movies. Right? Usually, when I watch sports movies,
need a sports movie. Vince.
I look for
Draft
inaccuracies. Draft Day was such an ass movie, dude. That movie sucked ass,
dude. Draft Day. That's all factual.
Yeah, you're just saying it. Like, I don't know what to tell. Like, what about it, bro?
I'm kidding.
It's the worst. Day. It's so bad.
It is the least. It is horrible sports. That movie should just be called Horrible Sports. Yeah.
Arian Foster was the athlete, right? In that. That was bad. That was a bad movie. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like Sandlot. Remember the Titans is such a good movie. I like that.
Yes.
Rudy. Yes. Hoosiers is good.
You got to give me 3, Vince.
I'll take Hoosiers, Sandlot, and Remember the Titans. Or no, Miracle, dude. Oh, Miracle, yeah, Miracle, Sandlot
again.
Miracle, Sandlot, Remember the Titans.
Okay. So no particular order for me. I think Sandlot's automatically on the list. It's my favorite movie, maybe of all time.
Ooh,
I can quote it for days, right? Kid's a square kid.
Who's Peppercorn, right? That's her name?
Wendy Peppercorn.
Peppercorn.
And that is a huge reason why I've consistently dated blonde women with blue eyes. That's
there you go.
Bullshit.
Put the mallow.
So there you go. Put the most on the mallow.
All right. What are your other 2?
Okay. And this is in no particular, Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
It is a tremendous film. Awesome movie. LL Cool J's in it. Young Jamie Foxx. Movie broke a lot of molds. Still holds up to this day. Al Pacino. Hoo-ah. Maybe one of the best sports speeches in a film ever.
Okay.
And then, is a tough one.
And then.
I'm going to say Major League. The original Major League.
Oh, that's the Sheen one?
Right? That's with Charlie Sheen. Before he lost his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Uecker.
Tiger Blood.
Right?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are these guys? Right?
Yeah, he just came back. That was
like the White Sox story currently, but we're actually living through that. This was just a movie.
And we're not going to have some old guy come in and pitch like a boss. That's the thing.
Yeah. We're not going to have some guy who was formerly in jail.
When's the last time
like
the Cleveland sports baseball organization has won anything? So that's pretty cool.
2016, they were close. That was our baseball nightmare. As
Close.
collective.
I didn't mind it. Well, you're saying the two of them playing each other?
Yeah, the Cubs and the Indians. The two teams we did
I did
like the
not
most.
want Cleveland to win that.
I went to. We'll get into it, but went to a baseball game. But let's talk about strange and unusual topics. No, we saw the Guardians play the White Sox.
One time, I went to a baseball game. Okay.
Oh yeah, Vince. Play that fucking game.
The way you said that is like, one time I went to a baseball game. I'm like, cool.
Well, I don't want to bury the fact that I just went to see the White Sox play the Guardians last week.
You did. See,
it was wonderful.
I know, just the unprovoked, like, it was like a little kid being like, I went to a baseball game. It's like, cool, dude.
Right here. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Right here. Right.
For podcast listeners, he's flipped me off. Strange and unusual.
Yeah. Strange and unusual topics, Vince. Let's talk about it. This isn't really strange and unusual, but a long time coming since we're on the topic of film. Around the Horn is finally fucking canceled. Never understood the premise of the show.
That's
Didn't
the point.
get it.
I loved that part of it.
It was just like they had points.
But the points didn't matter.
They didn't
Tony
matter.
Reale was just like, whatever. Yeah.
How many guys would just go on there and spew bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's a hot
Better
take.
than First Take.
Yeah, early First Take was actually pretty good. Sarah Spain was the OG version of Joy Taylor because she was like kind of like attractive, right? And
Chicago.
then before Chicago, you kind of felt like, ooh, I kind of got to watch for Sarah Spain, and then you realize the show's fucking stupid.
Oh, dude, I didn't watch it for Sarah Spain. I watched it for Woody Page.
I was about to say Woody Page is horrible for the takes.
I loved. Yeah, that's why. I loved the crazy takes. I loved tuning in and seeing what he wrote on his blackboard behind him every single week or every day. It was always a new little thing or a quote or like a statistic on the blackboard. I was probably like 11, 10 at that time. So like I was just watching it for nuanced sports takes. And like Bill Plaschke, dude, there was a lot of guys that were always on that.
I just never understood it. It's like if you were a low,
trying to understand it is the worst thing you could do because it didn't make sense. That was the point of it.
If you're a low level journalist at ESPN, they're like, yeah, just
they
go
were
on
not
the show.
low level. No, it wasn't. They weren't even.
Well,
ESPN.
now
Bill
today,
Plaschke was like an LA Times writer and stuff, and like wasn't Woody Page like Boston Gazette or whatever?
Yeah, Woody Page Boston Gazette for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes Wilbon would come on every now and again. Which
and,
Wilbon I respect a lot.
Bomani Jones.
I don't know who Bomani Jones is.
But. Oh, Right Time with Bomani Jones. What a show. I love Bomani Jones. Big fan.
Okay. All right.
But
yeah, either way, it's canceled.
Show. Yeah, it's been out for a long time. PTI is still going strong.
PTI is actually halfway decent.
I like it still.
PTI is still pretty good. I didn't mind. It's just those middle of the day shows on ESPN there. You're like, what are we doing?
It was the get home from school, put on ESPN, see whatever the hell's going on, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And if it was bad, you just put on ESPN 2 and they just do ESPN News all day. That was the time. That was the time.
You want to hear something absolutely terrible?
No. Yeah.
To your point?
Yeah.
Okay. One of my fondest memories of watching Around the Horn was like trying to get home from school after 9/11 and not think about what happened that day and put on something sports related. It was just everywhere. It's just like, it was Around the Horn. And it was just like, well, no, we're cutting. There's no sports news today.
You watched
the world is basically on pause.
You watched a news program on 9/11 day. Yeah, dude. I was probably watching SpongeBob SquarePants because I was the ripe age of 6 then. So,
yeah. No, that was an interesting day to say the least.
What a time to be alive.
Fun time to be alive. All right. So, in other news, Vince, if I told you a baseball team in college broke an NCAA record, what team would you think that would be?
Probably like Cal State Fullerton or Mississippi State or Ole Miss or something.
Baseball wise, Texas,
Vanderbilt.
Right? Some of those.
Yeah.
Vandy, maybe throw Florida. ASU in there, Florida, all the schools that one would assume would break Division I baseball records. What if I told you, Vince, George Mason
That's a guy.
broke an NCAA record, George Mason University, broke an NCAA record for the most runs scored in an inning of 23 versus Holy Cross.
Jesus
today.
Christ.
Look at us.
That's so insane. You kind of got to give up after
23
after
runs in an inning. The final score was 26-6. They smoked them.
Yeah.
And needless to say, they broke an NCAA record. The last time that record was, in fact, broken was 42 years ago. The record of 20. Oh, look at you go. But I just thought that was a strange / fun
good for
fact
them.
that
That dugout had to be fucking lit, dude. Can you imagine? Like
they had to be losing their minds.
The 18th run comes in, and you're like, "What's happening? It's never gonna end, dude."
Does slaughter rules go into effect in college baseball? I wonder,
so.
or do you just play that shit out?
Was that a 9-inning game? Because if there's a slaughter rule, that would be the time.
No, I don't think so. I think they just let it happen. They were just like, fuck it. All right.
Bad. That's bad, boys. And on the actual strangest and most unusual thing, Donald Trump, president of the United States, pardons Pete Rose. 2 questions for you, Mike. How do you pardon a dead man? And 2, what the fuck is he pardoned for? Like, what did he do? Like, what the hell is the point of this? Why is this new?
A lot of guys are out here pardoning their families, pardoning their friends. No, not me.
For
pardoning
what?
Pete Rose. He was a wonderful man. Sir, he's dead.
And what did he do?
To pardon him?
What are we pardoning for?
Excuse me, Mr. President. Why are you pardoning a dead man? This will definitely get him into the Hall of Fame. A lot of people are like, Mr. President, were you the reason he got into the Hall of Fame? Not necessarily, but
no, dude. Okay, 2 facts about this that we just read. Pardoning from the president has no inclination or change on the Major League Baseball's rule for their Hall of Fame committee. Does literally nothing. It has no connection to it. And then number 2, the only legal issue that he could pardon him for was tax fraud in 1990, which was fucking 35 years ago, something like that. So I don't think he was going to jail for that. Like
1990, for the record, it was 35 years ago. Fuck.
Yeah. Dude.
Shit.
Can you just like, President, I'd like to get pardoned. What for? Nah. Like, what is he?
Well, Pete Rose is dead.
Yeah.
Pete Rose is dead.
There's nothing to pardon him for. That's like being like, I can't even compare that to something. That's like giving somebody like an auto claim for a crash they never got into. Like, it doesn't make any sense, dude.
You think about the priorities of his administration right now, finding where all the money's going, and then
pardoning a dead man.
Pardoning a dead guy. It makes no fucking sense.
That's a great use of our legal time, kids. We're doing
I don't know. Like, I don't get it either.
It doesn't make sense.
So like random.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's like pardoning Kobe from. I mean, he had far more bigger
legal issues. Yeah.
It's like pardoning Casey Anthony.
Dude, she's
you want to hear about
bro? She's back.
Casey Anthony. I don't know if she was ever here, but Casey Anthony has a TikTok now.
That's what I'm saying. She's posting.
Anthony is.
I would like to remind everybody that she strangled her child and then drowned him. This is a horrible piece of shit that deserves to be in jail.
Yeah.
Don't give her a platform. This is not the time to do that. She's a bad person.
I guess she's like she's trying to be like a consulting like firm for
and how to get away with murder. Okay.
Yes, like she is. It's insane.
Are you sick of your kid? I'm going to teach you how to murder him right now. It's like, thanks, Casey. What are we doing?
It's like, you see the stairs? Just make it look like an accident. See the washing machine? Dude. Oh, God.
That was one of those things where I was really young, too, but ew, icky, gross, bad person. Bad person deserves to be in jail.
Remember Josh Peterson? He was the guy who, like, murdered his pregnant wife. There's a whole documentary on it.
There are people to this day that believe that he is innocent in said crimes.
Well, it's insane to me. It's like you think about people who murdered people, you know?
Yeah. You can't really get in the head of a person who murders people. Yeah.
Ray Lewis.
If the glove don't fit. Yeah. Marvin Harrison.
Ray Lewis, Marvin Harrison. Can we think about that for like 2 seconds? That 2 of like the best football players of generations that we grew up with. were both accused of murder.
Yep.
Even though Marvin Harrison's more believable than Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
That he didn't do it, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of death going on around that time, too. Because that was around, like, the Pat Tillman, Sean Taylor, all of that was kind of happening within, like, a 5-year span.
Yeah. Pat Tillman got murdered in battle, which is horrible.
By friendly fire.
Yeah, friendly fire. Insane.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
It's the dog days, guys. I don't know what to tell
you. It is. Yeah, we're just pulling at straws at this point in the game.
Tell you.
Let's talk about college basketball, shall we?
Yeah,
so
baby.
The tournament starts in like a week or two. Or at least the conference tournaments start.
Conference tournaments start, I think, today. I think the day this is posted on, or maybe in 2 days after on that Saturday. But, you know, like you can come to us for college basketball information, but I will tell you 3 things right now. Auburn, good. Duke, good. Florida might be good. There you go.
St. John's, good. Also very good.
Can't shoot threes, but doesn't matter because their defense is nails, dude.
Yeah, they play defense. Rick Pitino is out there giving like Pacino-esque speeches.
Dude,
in like
that
a documentary.
Rocked.
That speech gave me the tinglies.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I'd listen to him.
I'd listen to that guy. I'd play for that guy, regardless of what he allowed at Louisville. I'd play for that guy.
We would play team manager, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
I would play clean up the towels after the game. That would be my role. So
be like, Coach, I'm 6'1", Caucasian. Put me in.
Yeah.
It's like,
Coach, 5'11", 260. Does this work for you? He's like,
no. No.
You're growing
We're just
the wrong
some thick
way,
white guys looking for our shot. We're pretty athletic.
Yeah. It's like, I'll be like a Jokic brother on the sideline and just step up to some dudes. That's all I could do.
Oh, Lord. Either way, Rick Pitino's in the news because this kind of caught some interesting feedback from a lot of different analysts in the sporting world, and also showing you the landscape of what the NIL means in college basketball as well as college sports as a whole. But Rick Pitino basically stated that in the next 2 years, he is not planning on recruiting one high school athlete.
Yeah.
Which to me is bonkers, considering that's who you assume, because you can't assume the tomb that these teams would be out trying to get, the next high school rung.
We're in the age. We're consistently and always in the age of one and done. What has been seen in years past is that most teams that end up winning the whole thing are teams comprised of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. St. John's is a pretty decent team right now. They're going to be graduating out like pretty quickly, and he wants to bring in – he's taking advantage of the transfer portal, which for coaches of his ilk, of his age, which there aren't a lot of anymore because, the Coach K's are gone and Jim Boeheim's and all of that. But, I kind of like this move. Go and get the guy that has something to prove from a different team. Go and do that. Why not?
Yeah, but then again, it's also kind of unfair. The kid coming out of high school looking to join a program, maybe he's like a long train to play St. John's.
Probably not, because think about how many guys go to, and he said this too. Like St. John's is a commuter school; it's an inner city school. It's similar to DePaul. It's similar to NYU if they had a team. Like a lot of kids are like trying to go to colleges to go to a college. They're trying to go to a campus and play that shit.
Fair.
Like if you could be like, hey, you can come to New York and you're 20 or whatever. You can come in here, get a degree. You can play in New York, and then we could be focused on your future moving forward there.
Yeah, maybe get your shot at playing at the next level.
100%. I think that's the best way to go about it, especially for a school like that.
Fair. Make some money in the process.
They sold out MSG for the first time in years. They play in MSG to empty crowds. It's really crazy.
Well, Pitino, man, there's one guy to turn it around and play and really preach playing defense. You got to love that.
Just don't be having parties where you're just banging a bunch of people. That's the only problem for him.
Don't be having any sexy parties
outside of that.
As a college, especially
successful
when you're
at Louisville, successful at Kentucky,
successful head coach across the board.
Yeah,
look at him.
Elon, he was good at Elon. What the fuck?
Did you see his white suit the other night?
Oh yeah, he brought it back. He used to wear that at Kentucky, I think.
Greasy, just looking like he was about to go out after in the West Village and eat.
Give me a coffee and that suit is cooked.
Oh,
done. Done.
I spill shit on my shit I spill stuff on myself for sport.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, what are we doing?
Yum, some eggs, and somehow I'll take eggs and ruin my whole fucking suit because of that shit. Like, I can't do it.
Oh man, yeah, like wearing a white shirt at a baseball game, mustard bound to find it.
Oh yeah,
no doubt about it. It's just gonna happen. Something about mustard doesn't come out. Refuses to come out.
Ketchup's the same way.
Ketchup's a bitch. Just can't eat a hot dog in pieces. A big guy, I tell you,
it's a real problem.
Well, Vince, considering about hot dogs, I went to a baseball game.
Oh no shit!
So,
did you have fun? Did you have fun?
I had a great time. I finished work early and I was like, I have been a busy boy all week and it's time for Mike to have some Mike time.
Yeah.
So I looked at the calendar and I said, well, the White Sox play the Guardians today, so let's go watch a baseball game. So I hopped my little ass in the car and I went to a baseball game and I watched Andrew Benintendi break his hand in his first at bat. It was great.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen. I was like, that's not good. Because then they walked him out to go get an x-ray immediately.
Yeah, you were like, hey, this is going to be bad. And I'm like, who cares? They fucking suck.
They're pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Now we just got guys on this team that you're just like, okay, we're just the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
Who's our new manager?
Will Venable.
Will Venable. Insanely tall. That guy looks like he can play for the fucking team. He is like 6'4".
Does he walk faster than La Russa?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He takes care of his guys. Yep. Luis Robert. Oh yeah, see? Big cat. Luis Robert looks hit and miss, no pun intended. This team does not look ideal.
Spring training.
Young yeah.
But also they're not good, so whatever.
They're not supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I will say Brian Ramos, I'm hopeful. I think he has a lot of tools of being a legit starter for this team, potentially at third base. What's insane to me... Go ahead.
I was just saying, there's an undefeated team right now in spring training.
Was it the Dodgers?
No, it's the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, that doesn't goddamn matter, but weird.
No, it doesn't. None of it matters.
They also have a tie. They have a tie.
Everybody's talking about Shaw. Everybody's talking about this Shaw kid.
He's supposed to be the new Chris Bryant. That's what they're selling him.
That's what they're selling him as, even though Ricketts is out there. Like, you have to understand, we're breaking even.
He's not Jerry Reinsdorf.
He's new age Jerry.
You got to get a Ricketts impression going. You got to find one.
It's just it's all very Jerry. It's like, you have to understand, after all is said and done, we break even as an organization, even though it is now released that the Chicago Cubs off of Sheffield have purchased there's three individual four flats that were purchased by the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, that they're tearing down and turning into apartments. It's going to be a 300 or 400 unit apartment complex.
New neighbors, hey!
New neighbors. It's going to have a pickleball court.
Yeah,
it's going to have a pickleball court,
which,
fun. In my opinion, is the largest equivalent. Yes, it is lame, but it is a huge equivalent of like the baseball to softball theory, right? So it's like, as you get older, you no longer play baseball unless you're still considered athletic. Same idea. You stop playing tennis, now you play pickleball.
It's men's league tennis.
Yeah, it's men's league tennis. There we go.
That's what it is.
Good analogy.
It's racquetball.
But all in all, this has been a fun spring training. You got to come next year. If you don't, I will hate you.
And hopefully I'll come before then.
Well, yeah. Right. Pause.
That would be bad for my balls. Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah. But
do that.
Truly, you definitely need to get yourself back out the desert. Yes. We'll go to Chase Field where the D-backs play. D-backs looking to potentially be, we'll see.
Spring training, Mike. Spring training, Mike.
It's true. Hey, the Cubs are going to the World Series.
They're never going to lose again. They're going to tie.
They're never going to lose.
The fucking Rangers, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not
Tell
possible.
Me about it. I digress. Vince, talk about hockey.
But really quick, robot umps. You seeing this stuff?
Oh, thank you for bringing it up.
You're welcome.
Why can you challenge a pitch now? I've seen it 3 times now
because of the robots.
where the catcher can like instigate a challenge. If he like frames something and be like, challenge this shit.
It's because of
And
the
then
robots.
it goes to the big screen, goes to the jumbo, and then it'll show how many millimeters or inches it missed by.
Yeah.
This
'Cause
is
it's-
ushering in the next stage.
It's supposed to be a
baseball.
perfect science. It's one of those things the same way as they're doing like they're testing out like the electric first down line. So it's always accurate every time. I don't like it. I don't want it.
Some element of human error.
Make some silly little fellas on the sidelines that don't belong there. Like the one guy a year that breaks his arm because like freaking like Derrick Henry runs into him on the sideline. I need that. I like that stuff. Like that's good.
That's true.
I mean, it's fine. I get it. It's more accurate, but it's it brings
It's
a
a
whole
first
myriad of other issues.
baseline. It's a first baseline. Come on. Does it need to be perfectly straight?
Yes.
No.
No, it doesn't.
Be a little off. Be like to the human eye, is it straight? Perfect. We're good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have a lot more takes being like, I don't know.
But
you know,
this is now the next generation of baseball. I hope everybody understands that. You start to usher in the robot umps now, and you bring in more technology to the game. Before you know it, it's just going to be an ump back there, just hearing the call in his ear, and
that's what he's doing right now. He's just saying what it tells him. Bring back steroids. What do you say?
Bring back steroids and juice baseball. Oh, speaking of the topic of interesting things, did you see Cody Bellinger has like a square bat in spring training right now?
Huh?
It's very interesting. If you look up Cody Bellinger bat,
that's what I'm doing.
He's
right
like
now.
crushing in spring training right now. And this bat he's used.
What the hell?
It looks like more like a rectangle than
it looks like a softball bat.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And one of these
legal?
scenarios that I don't know. That's what I was questioning when I saw
the
it.
barrel looks bigger.
It's interesting.
All right. Whatever, dude. He's a Yankee. I don't care. He can have a beard though, so good for him.
Hey, just know that he is cucking hardcore because Giancarlo Stanton did bang his wife.
Or, everybody deserves love.
They're Eskimo brothers, Vince. They're Eskimo.
That's fine.
Brothers.
That's fine.
Brothers.
I have a couple of those. It is what it is.
To
To the National Hockey League we go. What a surprise. Look at us go. We're hockey again.
We said we weren't going to do this again, but here we are.
I know, because this isn't like I know what's going to happen next game because we're bad at that. What I will say is that the Blackhawks did something. It was like when you poke somebody with the stick and you're like, hey,
they did it.
Do something. It's like when the White Sox, you're like, do something. Try it out. It's pretty fun.
Do
Blackhawks
cool.
traded former trade acquisition Seth Jones from a couple years ago. The Blackhawks tried a little bit for some reason. I think it was the end of the Stan
They were like,
Bowman.
we're going to do it. It's like nobody, yeah.
End of the Stan Bowman era, and it was like no one believes it. But they did get Seth Jones, and that was a decent trade, everybody thought. He hasn't been great on the Blackhawks. They traded him away for a goalie by the name of Spencer Knight. Do I know a lot about Spencer Knight? I won't say that I do. I'm wearing a Blackhawks hat right now.
Oh, I know a lot
but
about Spencer.
I am a casual, if you will. But what I will say about Spencer Knight is if last night's game is any indication about how good he's going to be for the rest of existence, then we found our guy, because Spencer Knight last night went 41 for 42 on saves, like a 9.47 or something like that save percentage.
Bananas.
And a couple of them were absolutely insane. Like double, one of them was like a stick save, moved to a leg save. I'm like, dude, if this is a prove it time for anybody, I will take the Blackhawks not giving up 7 goals. Because half the time, if I'm trying to watch a Blackhawks game, I'll put it on and it's already 5-0 in the second period. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. So that means they're trying, right?
Yeah, they're trying to try.
Bedard's not as good as he's supposed to be. Like, what are we doing?
Needs to step his game up. He's not the generational talent they thought they were
not yet.
Getting him.
Yeah.
So it takes time. They're coming up slow. Who knows?
We have a couple draft picks that we haven't seen yet either. So hopefully all of those just come and they work out, and then Spencer Knight is
pretend to be a hockey guy, but you just hope they're back to relevance sometime soon, because right now,
someone needs to be relevant. Someone does.
It's Chicago sports, man. Dog days. The only thing we have to look forward to is the Bears, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, but we don't even know what's going to go on with that. That's just blind optimism.
We're just mad and hopeful. I'm just winning and mad, and I'm like, it could happen.
Yeah, blind optimism.
Yes. Now, Kyrie did like the most Kobe thing ever last night. Not in a good way, but
I feel so bad for him, to be honest.
I really feel bad for Mavericks fans.
Yeah, 100%. If there's one guy that I was on and then fell off and then came back onto, it's Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie. Yeah.
For sure. Because like Cavs Kyrie, awesome. Like he was fun to watch. He was like electric. Does the whole Boston thing, kind of turns into a heel. And now you see him interview now and it's just like, hey man, like I'm not talking about anybody else. Like we're all going out there and playing. He's like, I'm balling. And then he just drops 27 with like 6 assists. And you're like, this is sick. Loses Luka, gets AD gets injured, and now Kyrie tears his ACL. He's out for the season. Nico Harrison was literally gifted what he asked for. He asked for this.
Imagine you're a Mavericks fan, and you went into a coma in the middle of January, and you came out of your coma today.
Yep. And your best player is an old Klay Thompson.
And you're like the biggest Mavericks fan in the world. And you're like, how the Mavs doing? You're like, well, Luka's on the Lakers, Kyrie's injured, and Anthony Davis.
We got Anthony Davis, and he's already out. Yeah, he's already off.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, he's already out. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
And
what dream and what alternate universe am I living in?
The kicker is that the Lakers are on fire. Better defensive rating than they've had. Better offensive rating than they've had. Luka and LeBron seem like a perfect match, and now they're second in the Western Conference. So all goes well. If you're a Mavs fan, you could see Luka Doncic again in a Western Conference Finals.
I doubt that's going to happen. I think
it very well could. It very well could.
I mean, if any of these series have to go through OKC, good luck.
If they're second in the West, the only time they would meet them is the Western Conference Finals.
Well, I would love to see it because I'd love to see LeBron lose.
And yeah, but
I still think they're going to be out.
Young, unproven team.
They're going to make the first round of the playoffs.
But you're also more slanted towards haterism than like facts.
I'm not hating. I'm real.
I
like Luka.
You're not real.
Great.
If you were real, you'd be like, oh, they're second in the West and they're playing their asses off down the line.
I don't buy into the Heat. Okay? Not the team, but I don't buy into the hot streak talk. They're hot because the people don't know how to play them yet.
They're still second in the West.
Tell me I'm wrong. They can be second in the West, Vince. Tomorrow they could be third if they drop a game.
You're doing the Lakers versus the field thing again, and you can't make that argument because you're taking every other team.
What other argument do I need, Vince?
You're saying tell me I'm wrong.
What other argument do I need?
Then you're going to be
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying they're going to get bounced in the first round.
If they don't make it to the Western Conference Finals, you're going to be like, called it. And I'll be like, dude, shut up. Like, that's what's going to happen.
They're not going to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. But first round exit, I can bet you on that one. I don't know if they're going to be first round exit. That's pretty crazy.
Well,
they might play Portland, dude. They might play Portland in the first round.
You know who else is fucking dogging right now is Golden State. They're clearly meshing. They look really good too. So you think about all the teams that are excelling in the West. That's cool. I would like to change this focus to the dog teams of the East, being the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Cleveland just pulled a fucking rabbit out of their hat on Friday night.
Damn!
Wow, what a game! That game, they were down 27 points in the first quarter, and then somehow willed themselves back into that game to win.
Dude, I can't.
No Porzingis, insane.
Like something's gonna happen. Well, no Porzingis on Boston, but like I think you got to see a team do it. You know, you get to the playoffs and you're like, they haven't done it before, but they're like so good. I can't imagine a way where they lose a 7-game series at all. Like I can't imagine.
Isn't your DePaul guy on that team, Vince?
Which one? Strus?
The guy who played on this. Yeah, is it Strus?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Better believe it.
Strus is a dog. I like Strus.
Love him. Wembanyama, blood clot, out for the season.
Yeah, that happened like a week ago.
I know we didn't talk about it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of old news. We missed it, but yeah,
Sorry, Chris
Wembanyama's
Paul.
out.
Sorry, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to do? And then De'Aaron Fox is most likely going to free agency.
Yeah, he might
That's
get signed
fine.
and traded, though, because he can get more money from them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
You know who's won like 5 out of their last 7?
Sacramento.
I was about to say the Kings.
Yeah.
It's like he got traded, Zach LaVine, and like now he's a teammate. Either that or we were just ruining him. I don't know.
He has the same. He's scoring the same amount. He's putting up the same stats as he did with the Bulls. The Bulls were just so fucking bad. Like there's no one on the team was good, dude. Like I'm not saying he's like the consummate professional, but also like when you go from throwing the ball to Vucevic and Pat Williams to Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan and the rest of those guys, like that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, well, him and DeRozan were teammates for a while, and they were making playoff games. So, hey, nothing would be more electric than the Bulls being in the playoffs again, which that entertainment district is being built as we speak. So.
Give it a couple years when they actually have like new guys and Pat Williams is freaking gone and we're not relying on Josh Giddey to get a double-double. It's just not good basketball.
Hey, Josh Giddey, really good at dating girls that he doesn't know their age.
He didn't know.
He didn't know. He had no idea. He met her. He met her dad.
Yeah.
They had a conversation.
It's crazy.
Meanwhile, a team that is also not very good, and Vince, you have this so eloquently put in here that KD is going to be on to the next team.
Dude.
And the Suns are ass.
They're supposed to be good, and they're just not good.
I said was.
No, that's what I'm saying. 2-8 in the last 10. They did the experiment. Bradley Beal, booty cheeks on a max contract. Devin Booker not playing the way that he should. DeAndre Ayton's in Portland in a playoff push, and the Suns aren't going to make the playoffs. How the hell is that possible?
Well, it's just a lot of egos.
No dog. Zero dog.
No dogs. Zero dogs. I mean, you could say Booker's a kind of a dog, but he needs
not really,
to be
though. He's like
the guy.
He's kind of being like a, I don't know, like a prima donna. It's kind of like, man, he's back with a Jenner, I think.
I will not take any Booker slander.
Yeah, you called him Kobe Bryant like 2 years ago.
Well, dude, he was at the
he's not Kobe
of
Bryant.
his career.
He's not Kobe Bryant.
Well, he looked a lot at the very top of his prime, which one could consider he's maybe at the tail end of it now. He looked like Kobe reincarnated when they were in the finals. I mean, he was doing things Kobe does.
Remember Suns guy that got in that fight and became really famous for like a week?
Yeah, that was fun.
What happened to him?
That was a good time.
Devin Booker 17-5-4 last night. They lost to the Timberwolves by 18 points.
I mean, you would think that in the offseason, okay, you start to look at the scenario. KD's gone. Okay.
He's going to be, what, 37?
He's getting up there. He just doesn't seem interested. I don't know who their coach is. They don't want to play for him.
Well, he's a shot maker now. It's like he doesn't have as much like quick-footed, like shifty motion that he used to have. So you have to have
Achilles.
I mean, he could still make shots. He's still going to get points, but you have to have somebody that can run the offense around him.
I feel like you need to move Booker. I feel like you just got to dismantle this and just move on. They tried to take the the Heat route of getting 3 max players, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, but they're not Hall of Famers. Only one of them is. So that's the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
Beal is Zach LaVine, too.
Booker could be a Hall of Famer if he's in the right scenario because he has made a finals. He hasn't won one. If he did win one, I would say you could reconsider. But he's still young. He's 28 years old.
I know.
He's 28 years old.
I don't know about all that. Actually, the NBA Hall of Fame is easy to get into, so I'll give him that. But like, I'm not.
just like making the playoffs. There you go.
I wouldn't hitch my ride on Devin Booker going to fucking. Okay. Also, Embiid's like out for the year. We talked about Paul George last year. The Bulls need the 76ers to get their shit together because we're still in the play-in. We're still in the play-in right now. We're 24-37 and not even a lottery team.
On this lovely Tuesday, the Bulls are only losing to the Mavs by 4.
They're failing at failing.
They're feeling it, but
It's so
it's
bad,
horrible.
dude.
I mean, we're probably not going to get a lottery pick. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Dude,
fine.
yeah.
I'm crying.
Now
It's fine.
Cooper
It's not
Flagg's
horrible.
going to be a Washington Wizard or a Utah Jazz. Think about one guy that would fit better in Utah than the white guy from Maine.
I was about to say, if Cooper Flagg gets taken by the Utah Jazz, that's actually kind of scary considering Markkanen doing what he's doing, hitting his
He's
stride.
not that good anymore, though. He was good for 2 years.
Well,
He's been booty cheeks this year. The Jazz suck. They suck.
Well, you thought Danny Ainge was going to go to the land of the Mormons and make it happen, but it doesn't seem like
I think he's working on it, you know? He gets rid of Rudy, which is a great call. Sure, the Timberwolves don't want him anymore. And gets rid of Donovan. Donovan was very good in the Cavs, but he wasn't going to do shit with the Jazz. Like, I think it's just kind of turnover. But yeah, Lauri Markkanen, he's back to Bulls Lauri Markkanen, which is something you don't want, for sure.
Yeah, Bulls, Lauri Markkanen. Yeah, that's not good. He looked great there for a minute. Yeah,
he was. He was like an all-star. He was up there for a little bit, like a year and a half.
Well,
there,
Danny Ainge usually knows what he's doing, so that's kind of the interesting part of all this.
You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Also, shout out to the Detroit Pistons. Congrats on finally winning ball games. What a fun time. Kate Cunningham's the man.
Taking a lot. Remember when Blake Griffin was on the Pistons?
Yeah, dude. He had a kind of like a reincarnate year for like 1 year where he was crazy.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit, Blake Griffin's back. He can jump out the gym.
He was dunking and shit, and you're like, oh, this is fun. Like,
he was recently on a podcast, and they were talking about code switching.
He was on We Might Be Drunk with Mark Norman and Sam Morrell.
Yeah, this was like a new thing for me.
For you?
I never
you don't know what code switching is?
No. Usually you just
call as old as time.
Code switching is just like acting.
Carl
like
Anthony Towns. He's your guy.
Oh, for sure.
And then he'll go on an interview. He's like, we played really well as a team last night. And then he'll get into a car and be like, the SEC. And you're like, what just happened to you, dude?
It's like, why is he such a zesty bitch when he's not trying to be cool?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It happens all of the time.
That's funny, man.
I know.
I didn't understand what that
Mark Norman asked it like an absolute psychopath, too. It was wild. That was a wild clip. But I watched that whole interview. It was awesome. Blake Griffin.
They're comedians.
He's might be 1-1 funniest athlete. Maybe after Chad Ochocinco.
I was about to say Chad Ochocinco talking about running out of PP is one of my favorite.
That was so funny.
Past decade.
Yeah. Two hardest things to do in baseball, or two hardest things to do in sports: hit a baseball and keep a woman long term.
Or no, keep a woman happy.
Keep a woman happy. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
that's the line. And I can't disagree with really much.
Hitting baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. I will always retain that. Retain that opinion.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
You can't do
easily.
It. There's no time. You have like a millisecond to swing the bat. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I brought this up with sister-in-law recently. I was like, hey, what do you think's harder? Shooting a three-pointer in an NBA game, rushing for 5 yards in an NFL game, or hitting a home run? She's like, hitting a home run.
She's
the hardest thing you could possibly do.
She's goddamn 100%. Right.
Even the women agree. They don't even play.
Not to say that the other two aren't hard. It's just
very
the hardest
hard
thing to do. It's something that I couldn't do anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's talk about NFL, yeah?
Let's talk about the NFL. The NFL Combine happened.
It did happen. And it was scotch underwhelming, not going to lie. A lot of the top talent chose not to perform in any.
Why would you?
The things you wanted. But, like, come on, dude. Jalen Milroe doesn't run the 40. The one fucking thing everybody wants to see him run.
I know. It's like, as a fan, you want to see it. But then, like, as a player, you're like, I'm protecting my capital right now.
Yeah. Now, in other news, Quinn Ewers had a shit showing of throwing the football.
Him and Will Howard can go skip around together because they both suck ass.
They looked like just absolute booty cheeks, just horrible.
Yeah,
just we're missing just clearly. I don't know if they're on this.
Quinn Ewers was top 5 pick going into the year. It's like he's going to be one of the top drafted guys. Now he's a second or third rounder.
I think he's a day 3 guy. I think he's going to fall. He's just not it. He can't. I don't know. It just seems light in the ass and doesn't seem like he can drive the ball in the short and small windows. But you can't really like bring too much into throwing in basketball shorts at the combine to wide open people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you can't do that, you can't he can throw it to wide open defenders or fumble it so they can do a scoop and
Everybody fell in love with Will Levis at the combine because, wow, look at him throw that deep ball. He's been shit. So I think there's kind of the jury on that. Now, Jackson Dart, if I am looking at anybody, is intriguing. I still don't think he's a first round. I like Jackson Dart. I do like him.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is I think he's a great second round pick to sit behind the quarterback.
He can throw the ball.
Athletic. He's got a good arm, was in a pro style offense with Lane. I like it. I think that might work for you. Now, I also look at the opposite side of it. Cam Ward is the guy. It seems like everybody's now just losing their mind. And Shedeur Sanders is just seeming like an egotistical fuckbag.
Yeah, so. Every interview he did, and then all of the opinions coming out of it is like Shedeur Sanders might be an asshole, and I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, dude. It's kind of what I have seen this whole time. It's he's extremely confident in himself, which is great for a quarterback, but also at some point you got to be all right, let's look at this critically instead of just being I'm the man and you just have to get over it. It's all right, well, maybe you're not though. It's respect when respect's, given or earned. He hasn't done anything.
A lot of those throws at Colorado are Travis Hunter going back to the football. I'd like to remind everybody.
Yeah.
And he's athletic enough, but against what competition? You're playing
and that's the thing too.
Colorado State.
He didn't have an offensive line. So there was a lot of shifty movement, look around, make the throw if you got to make it stuff. That was fine, but all those guys are faster in the NFL. So and he's not necessarily the quickest guy in the world. So you got to be honest with that.
I would love to go back to September after a big game of Colorado, which I still never been a big fan. Just be you know what? He might be, but he's not. And I once again, this is the worst QB draft in recent history.
It's bad.
Mel Kiper's got to get on when he was losing his mind about Jamarcus Russell. You look at Jamarcus Russell going to be the greatest quarterback to ever live. Just shut up. Yeah. And meanwhile, Robert Gallery was the prize of that draft. Now, Vince, what if I told you only 3 quarterbacks ran the 40-yard dash?
I didn't know that.
Only 3.
Jackson Dart did?
Brady Cook. No, Brady Cook. Missouri, 4.59.
Okay.
Tyler Shaw, Louisville, 4.63. Threw the shit out of the football.
He was, dude.
By the way, everybody's losing their mind about him.
He was good. Do you remember all those Louisville games? The Notre Dame Louisville game. Didn't USC play Louisville or no?
No.
Or was it G-Tech? Something like that. But Louisville was a snarky little team this year. They were annoying to play.
Yeah. Only 3 quarterbacks ran the 40-yard dash.
Who's the other one?
And then the last one is Seth Hennigan.
Nope, I don't know who that is.
Who played at Memphis. Also threw the football very well.
All right.
So it's interesting to see these guys. Now, running backs.
Mike? You know who threw the ball well?
Who's that?
Riley Leonard for a very weird situation.
What are you saying?
He's not good at throwing the ball. He never was. I didn't know that he could throw the ball well.
No.
And he actually had a pretty decent showing. He was better than Will Howard. I was like, how the fuck is this possible?
Hey, Riley Leonard might be a guy. I mean, he'll be a career backup, but still.
5th round, undrafted, maybe something like that, but still.
Now,
he's a dog.
What if I told you that the most unassuming guy, running back, ran the fastest 40 ever? What college would you guess?
You would assume that it would be like an Ohio State guy or maybe like
Texas, maybe
USC, Texas, yeah. But it's not. I could tell by the way you're talking.
It's Bashul Tootin.
Okay.
Asked me to. Virginia Tech 4.340.
Virginia Tech known for fast guys.
Dude, he on tape was a grinder. Like guy would run you over. Not this guy.
He's also fast as shit. Who would have thought? Maybe a Bears player.
Woody Marks 4.5. So that's about right for Woody Marks, which I like Woody Marks. I think Woody Marks is a steal of this draft. Just saying. And then Ollie Gordon, 4.6.
Wait, you think the USC receiver is stealing the draft? No bias?
He's not a receiver. He's a running back.
Running back? No bias?
I'm a little biased, but I will say this much. He does have the tools of he's kind of like a bigger version of Darren Sproles. He's that guy out of the backfield who's a great out of the backfield receiver.
Yeah, scat guy.
Yeah. He's your third down back. In my opinion, that's what you're going to get from him. What are you laughing at?
I forgot about this. Did you follow this Isaiah Bond thing? Like the saga that he had going on this during the...
What, that he was saying he was going to run a faster 40 than what's his nuts?
He was going to be better than Xavier Worthy. He was going to be better than John Ross. And he didn't. And Xavier Worthy said, respect the ones who come before you. He ran what, like a 4.41, 4.40?
Isaiah Bond, 4.39.
Yeah.
His teammate ran faster than him.
Yeah,
Matthew
he wasn't
Golden.
even the fastest Texas receiver. That's
Insane.
like, you can't talk shit and not back it up. Was he doing that in practice? And they were like, hey, you're going to be faster than him. Like, who told him to say that?
Maybe. Well, once again, the speed in a 40 time isn't necessarily the speed on the field and how you play.
Well, but his exact shit talk was, I'm going to run a better 40 than him. And then he just didn't. He wasn't,
Well,
and like,
Xavier
he wasn't
Worthy
even
was like
close.
breaking records.
He was 0.2 away from him. Like, that's a considerable amount when you're comparing.
You're a tenth a second off. That's no bueno.
Yeah, which like in normal time and game speed, like whatever, that's just a tenth of a second. But like in 40 time, like that's all you got. You got a 2 numbers on it. You got to do what you
Let's talk about something that means the most, Fitz.
Okay.
We need big guy 40 times. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Defensive tackle. You got to guess at college. Who are
Okay.
you taking?
Who's going to be the fastest 40 on a defensive tackle?
Yeah.
This is all just assumptions. Like you would assume, well, no, because Georgia's all just big fatties that just run through the line.
Yeah, those are some big boys.
Iowa.
Nebraska.
Oh,
Ty Robinson.
I was close.
This man has proven to the Caucasian world that we can also be fast because he is the fastest defensive tackle in this draft.
That's the fastest position in a non-speed
4.83.
Fastest time in a non-speed position. No, it's fine. But
Just saying.
Yeah.
Great. I love it.
But who cares how fast your defensive tackle is?
What's insane to me is the difference
Does that
between
matter, Mike, at all?
At defensive tackle? Probably not.
No.
But it's still impressive for that large of a human being to be cooking 4.83, right? It's so impressive to me to see the difference between defensive tackle 40 times and then defensive end 40 times. Because you have some defensive ends, James Pierce Jr., 4.4 40.
Yeah,
4.47. Bananas.
He almost was the same as Isaiah Bond, and he plays a line position. Isaiah Bond's a wide receiver. Like, that's crazy. The difference between James Pierce and Isaiah Bond was bigger than the difference between Xavier Worthy and Isaiah Bond. Or was smaller, rather. It was closer to him.
It's insane to me that this amount of talent comes out of the draft. But
yeah, man.
You can't buy in too much to the physical thing. Right now, everybody's losing their mind over this kid who's coming out of Texas A&M, this defensive end that just rated off the charts.
Yeah.
And did nothing on the field. Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
Had like 3 sacks last year.
Oh, yeah. All his RAS grades through the roof. Everything is good besides his weight that he can put on. And then like, yeah, but can he play football? It's like Devonta Smith when they're like, he's not going to be a good receiver. He's not big enough. And now he's a good receiver. You're like, yeah, no shit. He won a Heisman. What are we doing?
Yeah. Won a Heisman, one of the best in the sport today.
Yeah.
Winning Super Bowls because of him. Literally.
Yeah.
Now, as we look at what the Bears are going to do with this 10th pick, if Will Howard, or not Will Howard, don't get Will Howard. Will Howard, if he's there.
No.
If he is there. Will Campbell. That Will.
Yeah.
The right Will. If Will Campbell's at 10, are you taking it?
You probably got him, right?
Okay. Now, if he's gone and he's off the board, and Mason Graham is also gone, the 2 guys I would like the most for the Bears to draft, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, pick a tackle. Do you trade back at 10?
I think there's a lot of value in that because there is a lot of linemen later down in the draft. A lot of people are saying, what is it, Membu from Missouri? Armand Membu.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
what
Who the
I've
fuck wants to go play at
seen.
Mizzou?
What do you say?
Who the fuck wants to go play at Mizzou?
Well, Mizzou was actually pretty good. They were better last year than they were this year, but they were pretty good this year. Supposedly, the Giants are trying to get up to the number 1 pick because they're trying to take Cam Ward. Supposedly.
Allegedly.
And there's a conversation about Cleveland and their current quarterback situation. They say maybe they'll take Shedeur number 2. Who knows? These are all mock draft situations, which leaves Abdul Carter probably going 3 to the Titans then at that point, or Travis Hunter going 4. So really what you're looking at is like, who are the Jaguars taking? Probably Mason Graham. Probably.
I don't see whoever has the Patriots taking Travis Hunter. If there's one person, and I know everybody's going to look at me sideways, if there's one person who could fall in this draft, it's Travis Hunter. Because not many people need.
What do you consider fall?
I think he could fall to past 5.
Yeah, like the furthest
6,
he could go
7.
is like 8. The furthest he can go is 8.
Well, he's a true shutdown corner. So, and it's always a need if you think about it. I could see the Jags sitting there at 5 just being the play.
Yeah.
Because you have a quarterback.
Well, if the Patriots don't want to take Travis Hunter too, they're going to trade that pick to somebody that does.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I think the Patriots are trying to go in the trenches. It's Mike Vrabel, so trenches.
This Yahoo mock draft has the Patriots trading with the Raiders, moving down to 6 and taking McMillan from Arizona.
I don't think it's going to be an offensive pick at all. I think you got to protect your asset.
Yeah, but also who is he throwing to, man?
Well, this is why you could get so much receiver talent in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds. Yeah. Because this draft is deep in receiver and running back. So you could draft all those things in the 2nd or 3rd round. 1st round, you got to go trenches.
I saw a mock draft on ESPN that had Genty going 6, and I was like, "Shut up! I can't take it."
It's like, don't have the Bears take it.
But come on, no. The Bears are getting Membu. They're getting Will Campbell, or they're trading down and then taking a couple guys after that. Like I don't see them doing anything that isn't offensive or defensive line.
I agree with all those things. I think their first 3 picks are going to be tackles in some capacity. So offensive tackle, defensive tackle, first 3 picks. Either that or defensive
center
end.
In the first 4 rounds. We don't have a 6th round pick.
Oh no.
Because we traded it yesterday. Today? Yesterday.
Yesterday? We're going to say yesterday. Well, this is going to be posted on Thursday.
Today's Tuesday. We're recording on Tuesday this week. For Jonah Jackson from Los Angeles, $17.5 million left on his contract, which you pointed out. But the Bears have 60-some million in cap space right now, so that's not a big deal.
Just a lot of money to give.
I know,
a guy
but you can get out of that money if he's
start.
ass. You can get out of that if he's ass. And he played in Detroit with Ben Johnson in 2021. Clearly, there was some conversation about, hey, is he good or not? Also, 28. If he used to be a Pro Bowler, if he can come back and play at that level, take him. Come on.
Yeah, be a potential mentor and a guide.
He's probably not going to start, but he could. And also, we need depth because if you remember last year, we were throwing freaking anybody in there.
Oh, PFF grade of the Bears' offensive line was like a 54 at guard last year. It was horrible, like the 32nd, and we were the bottom of the bottom.
That being said, though, Jonah Jackson, good run blocker, not the best pass blocker, especially in the last 2 years. A little bit injury prone.
Well, this is what kind of leads me to believe that the Bears very, very well may be in line to draft a running back this year.
Yeah.
And
Second, 3rd round, please. Don't spend your 10th pick on the fucking running back. I swear to God.
I think something may be working in our favor. Just saying. Just
who do you want
at
then?
All the 40 times. I want the kid from Iowa. That's what I need in my life.
I'm still kind of stuck on one of these 2 Ohio State guys.
Give me Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I love that pick. I really like that pick.
He's what, number 3? He's the 3rd best halfback in this draft. Travion Henderson, 4. Quinshon Judkins is a fast man.
Give me Caleb Johnson, literally every game, stacked box.
Yeah.
And no Big Ten defense could do a fucking thing to stop him.
Yeah, he was a man.
I want that guy in the NFC North. Give me that guy. He'd be a great yin and yang. Sorry, Roshan Johnson.
He's not. He ain't it.
Bring in Caleb.
And DeAndre Swift's gonna have to get carries. He's getting way too much money, so they're gonna find a way to do that.
And then you start to phase out. Swift will probably get hurt, and then next year you draft like a real burner after you take care of the trenches this year. Because let's face it, there's maybe an 8-win team next year.
Maybe, hopefully. There was a lot of talk before this season or last season. Etienne, brother, another crazy guy. He's going to be a top draft pick for a running back. Ollie Gordon, he's not even on lists now. Where the hell did he go?
He just had a shit year. His 40 time was abysmal at 4.6.
Yeah.
He's more of a fullback at this stage of the game than he is anything.
It's going to be difficult. Probably undrafted, maybe late draft.
Yeah, somebody will take him in the 5th or 6th round.
I mean, if you look at this list, though, he's not even a top 25 running back on this list right now.
His fall from grace was pretty apparent. Like in NCAA, they had him to start the season as like a
he's 21, excuse me. Yeah.
So
I like Jordan James too. I've always been a fan. He's a little small, but the Oregon guy,
shifty,
yeah,
shifty, very good at Oregon. Would be someone to consider if your guy Caleb isn't there. It'd be cool though. Think about this: have Caleb and Caleb in the same backfield.
That would be
one
fun.
Spelled with a C, the other with a K.
Caleb, K Caleb. Devin Neal too. I like Devin Neal. He was fun at Kansas. I don't know if
to me the guy's
NFL,
little. I like Caleb Johnson. I think that
he's
to
the
me
guy
is the
I want to. Yeah. Or no, I want Travion Henderson. I still do. I like him, dude. He's so fast. He's so good.
We need downhill. We need a guy who can just meanie.
He's not small though. Travion Henderson's not small.
Yeah, but I just want the proven commodity that's played against Big Ten defenses every Saturday. That's what I want.
Travion Henderson played at Ohio State.
Yeah, against behind one of the best offensive lines in the country. What are you talking? Come on.
I know.
Iowa.
You can't take away from a guy for having a good offensive line.
Iowa was a one-trick pony in Caleb Johnson, and he was it.
Yeah,
and he still outperformed any projection given to him.
I mean, you're buying a car with 60,000 miles on it, or a car with 20,000 miles on it. You know,
depends on the value and what I'm trying to get out of it. If it's just
what kind of car.
21-year-old, yeah. And running backs today are a dime a dozen, so you don't reach. But I digress.
Speaking of tread on tires, Khalil Mack come back to the Bears.
It's got to be for the right price, right?
I think he's interested.
He's interested, but for all the allegedly, he's looking for 3 years, $70 million. That's a lot of money, Vince.
He's what, 33?
For a guy who's almost 33? I mean, he's my age, and I mean, in NFL, I'm a fucking
34.
Mummy.
Yeah.
I mean, to think that he's 34, I'm like, I just don't think he could get it done.
I know. It sounds weird.
Fuck, I know how I feel some mornings now. I wake up and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, 17 sacks 2 years ago, 6 sacks last year. Definitely a downfall.
You got to remember, out of those 17 sacks 2 years ago, 6 of them were in one game against the Raiders.
It was a good game.
It was a great game.
You getting mad at a guy for getting 6 sacks?
No, I'm not mad at him. He was playing Aiden O'Connell.
Hungry dogs run
terrible
faster.
Raiders team. I guess.
Dude, if the Raiders don't get one of the two quarterbacks.
Pete
Rodgers?
He'll take one in like the 3rd round. No, I think Rodgers is if the Giants don't wind up with a quarterback, I think he's staying.
They're probably getting Cam Ward.
Although reports came out today of Max Crosby saying that Aaron Rodgers would be crazy.
Yeah, and he probably makes all the calls because he's the only good player on that team. Also,
Devontae would go back, and he already has the house there. So I think Max Crosby is posturing just because he knows there's a package deal there.
That's what I'm saying. Because Devontae got released today. $39 million off the books for the Jets. Good for you.
Good for you.
And then Alan Lazard is being allowed to search for a trade if he wants. So they're like, this Rodgers thing didn't work. Get everybody out of here.
Yeah, I think Aaron Glenn's coming in there and it's just like, yep, everybody can leave now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Don't need any of this shit. This doesn't work.
Restart, wipe the slate clean.
Couple other things of non-rookies. Debo to Washington.
For a bag of footballs. Wow. A 5th-round pick. They just paid this guy like $92 million. How the fuck do you just go, 5th-round draft pick?
Well, that's why, right? Because I think the 49ers are eating some of it, but like the Commanders, they probably would have had to pay more if he wasn't getting $92 million. That's probably something to do with it, right?
Bananagrams to me.
I don't know like the contractual thing, but like I like it for him. He's not what he used to be for sure. But on a team that like you were kind of relying on a lot of Terry Mack, who was very good last year, NFC Championship team.
A lot of Terry Mack, not Terry Mark, different people.
Yep. Yeah, correct.
I just feel as if it's going to be a shift of tides, and Trent Williams is aging out too. I don't think the 49ers are going to be very good. You got to play Brock Purdy. Now they're also saying there might be open to training Brandon Ayuk.
Not good. I mean, there's a lot of money on the books, and Shanahan's
and then you have
McCaffrey
aging, big contract too. It's
injured.
Kittle aging, big contract. Trent Williams aging, big contract. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. And what this
you have two choices. You clean this out, and the 49ers are committed to him long term to rebuild the team, or you go for one more and you figure out how the hell you're going to do it.
I think at this stage of the game, you just got to say, fuck it, I got the talent now. I got to go one more and then just blow this whole thing up.
Right. They could be like the Rams and just trade all of their assets for aging guys and hopefully it works out.
Well, it just depends if you want Brock Purdy to be him, which I don't know if Brock Purdy is him.
He hasn't done anything to tell me otherwise.
If you play Madden, Brock Purdy is so overrated in that game. You're like, how is this little munchkin man?
He's good in the NFL. He's good.
He's been good, but he is completely a system-based quarterback.
If you listen to the Raiders, Madden ratings are very important. I don't know if you knew this. Because they make this is the Jets. This was Woody Johnson's kid.
Yeah, Woody Johnson's kid. He was like, wait a minute.
He's like, wait, this guy's an 82. This guy's an 82 in Madden. He's got a star development trait. Maybe we should pick him up. And you're like, dude. I don't think EA Sports knows exactly about how players are going to be in the future here. So.
I mean, dude, listen. Braxton Jones is a superstar dev.
That's crazy. Braxton Jones is like a 90 in my franchise. Unbelievable.
Braxton Jones is him, man.
I need football back, man. That's a problem.
Roma Dunze is also him.
Matt Stafford is staying in Los Angeles after searching for a trade. Looks like the Montana ski slopes didn't do much for Tom Brady.
Well, I also heard that the Giants were allegedly all in. I read an article. Giants really were like driving up the cost. They're like, yeah, we'll do whatever we need to do to get you.
Yeah.
And then went back to the Rams like, hey, this is the offer I got. They're like, fine.
That we'll just sign you to that. I think Kelly's trying to leave LA anyway.
Yeah, Kelly's got a vineyard.
Yeah.
Kelly has her literal own vineyard. Their succession plan is to retire a Ram. I mean, let's face it. If the Rams don't get gashed up the middle by Saquon Barkley,
they're the only team that could beat them.
They're the only team that could compete. And you have Sean McVay. And you have a defense that's young and verse, and wow.
If Saquon Barkley didn't exist, the Rams could have been Super Bowl champions. That's not a crazy statement.
It's not a crazy statement. It's a little far-fetched. I don't disagree. But once again, if you play in that NFC championship game against the Commanders, I mean,
they can beat them.
Oh, totally.
And they go and play the Chiefs, and the Chiefs look like they looked, especially with like that young line that they had on the defense. Like fucking, I don't know, man.
And now Cooper Kupp's gone. Good as gone. They're going to get rid of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Nakua is the guy. They're going to draft more talent on top of this. I could see it all working.
Yeah, they can finally draft people. That's very cool for them.
Sean McVay hasn't missed though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
all of those draft picks. They're one first-round draft pick over the past 4 years with Gerard Verse, and he's a freak
monster.
So,
and that was a late first-round draft pick monster.
absolute monster, and that defense is comprised of 3rd and 5th round draft picks on the defensive line that are just glass eaters. Now,
all like first, second year guys too. Crazy.
one thing I'd like to point out is that I could foresee a situation that if the Giants do not trade up in the draft to get to where they want to go to either take Shedeur, which a lot of people think it's Shedeur.
I don't know, man.
Him and your boy Dayball love each other.
Nothing
allegedly.
that Shedeur has done in the last 5 months would convince me that he's better than Cam Ward as a prospect. Both on and off the field. There's nothing about it that I'd be like, he's better, besides having a dad that played in the NFL.
What's more plausible? Russell Wilson to the Raiders, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers, and then Shedeur Sanders on the Giants.
What's more plausible?
What's more possible of happening out of those three?
Well, Russ is staying in Pittsburgh, I think.
You think so?
They kind of said that a little bit.
They did.
They're not even.
Okay.
They're not even looking for a trade for him or anything like that. They're not even
like
looking
Russ
to
is
have
him.
He's gonna stay.
Careful.
Might be spicy. You're seeing a lot of Justin Fields edits. At this point, I've seen him in every uniform on Photoshop.
He's got to go to the Jets.
Probably. But other teams are kind of like, hey, maybe he's good. I don't understand how. I still don't get it. I seen one in a Tennessee edit, and I was like, Tennessee.
Seen him, but I don't believe him.
Yeah, like what are we fucking doing? Rodgers in Vegas would make sense to me. It would just make sense to me.
Does make a lot of sense.
He needs to go somewhere. Someone's gonna sign him.
I could see Pete Carroll going full-blown Legion of Boom and drafting all defense this draft and just having a fucking ridiculous defense and just Aiden O'Connell out there just fighting for his life.
Very well could.
Every game would be won by a margin of 3, and every under would be hit.
You can't do Aiden O'Connell. You have to just find a rookie. You don't even have to draft him early. Just find a rookie and be like, maybe he might be good, because you know what you're getting with Aiden O'Connell. You know what you're
Quinn
getting
Ewers all the way.
100%. Or like Jackson Dart, if he comes available at the time they want to draft him, like you have to at least like give a shot to somebody that maybe might have a little bit of potential, because Aiden O'Connell just doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what he is, dude. You already know what he is. You're very well aware of what he is.
Yeah, he's not in.
Trevor Siemian, bring him in.
Trevor Siemian, Ultimate Bridge. All right. Well, next week, let's do the QB carousel.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for sticking with us for the dog days, people.
Dude, it was good. Dark. You know, we get through it.
Just we get through this time of year, and then before you know it, March Madness, we're going to do our bracket. We're going to be better about our bracket.
Yeah.
Promise.
We're going to be more time consistent and correct with it this time.
Yes, we're actually going to like fill it out as we go. All right. And then not be all over the place. Be like, well, wait, you had this in the 5 spot, and now you have him as the 3 seed. It's like,
after 40 minutes, it's like, well, actually,
mind.
I think I got that wrong.
But stay tuned for that. We're going to be better this year. Check out Mike's montage on the internets of spring training. That's coming to you soon.
Yeah.
And then, as always, share with a friend, share with your family, share it to your nieces and nephews. A little bit more PG this week. They're allowed this week.
They're allowed.
They're okay. They're allowed this week. Shout out to the aunts and uncles of the pod. As always, see you next week.
Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.